Welcome to the SVG-TV news for Monday, February 10th. I am Khalil Keita with the details. A Vincentian who returned home after a recent travel to China has been placed under quarantine in light of the presence of the coronavirus in the Asian country. This was noted in a news release issued by the Ministry of Health, Wellness and the Environment on Friday, which further stated that the person is in good health and has shown no sign of the illness, which has claimed over 800 lives in China, affected thousands more, and has spread to several countries. The ministry said that the individual is under quarantine and will be monitored daily by health professionals for 14 days in keeping with protocols for persons entering the country with a travel history to mainland China. At a press conference last Monday, health authorities pointed out that though SVG and the entire region is at a low risk of contracting the coronavirus, they have beefed up surveillance at all ports of entry and urged the public to remain vigilant. Meanwhile, Prime Minister Dr. Ralph Gonsalves maintains that the health authorities here followed strict procedures before allowing the cruise ship Aida Perla to dock recently at Port Kingstown. When the ship left, it was reported that several of its passengers were ill with flu-like symptoms, raising concern among the members of the general public. Speaking on WeFM's Issues at Hand program yesterday, PM Gonsalves read from a report prepared by the Chief Medical Officer highlighting the procedures in place to safeguard the public's health.
To grant pratique permission if sick passengers reported aboard the cruise. There are 2 points here. First, acute respiratory illness, ARI or influenza-like illness, ILI. And there's a series of things under that dealing with thresholds. This is the scientific data now. When you do the observations now.
Yes.
If it's in excess of the threshold, the ships are told to return to the point of origin. They're not allowed. If they're below, if the risk which is assessed is below that, you would allow the healthy passengers to come off if there's anybody with any form of illness. And the second heading, acute gastroenteritis, again, similarly, a lot of details, scientific details, which I don't have to read.
Examining the report, PM Gonsalves identified what was done before permission was given for passengers to disembark the ship.
Duty was alerted by the Barbadian health personnel about a higher than normal number of ill passengers and crew aboard the vessel. The port health officer requested the passenger manifest and the health declaration and determined that the level of illness did not meet the criteria to deny permission, to deny pratique based on the approved formulas and detailed the formulas. On arrival of the vessel in Kingston Harbour, the port health officer boarded the vessel and inspected the conditions under which ill persons were isolated and the cleanliness of the vessel, including the infection prevention and control measures. The port health officer was satisfied that the conditions met the required standards to ensure infection prevention and control. The port health officer then reported to the medical officer of health to advise that the pratique be granted and only healthy passengers be allowed to disembark. And then there's an annex dealing with a number of other things and guidance documents. You notice the process which is followed?
Very thorough.
PM Gonsalves rubbished claims that permission was granted for the ship to dock in order to boost tourism numbers.
Ralph is not the person who gives permission. I don't have that authority under the law. So when he said that Ralph allowed the vessel to come in, assess cruise ship numbers to be up, I mean, it's just rubbish.
Somebody actually said that?
Yeah.
Okay.
That it's this is a matter which is in the domain, as you notice, of the Ministry of Health officials.
Yes.
The Chief Environmental Health Officer has people at the port, you know. It's required by law. Out at the airport, we have such a person. We also have the airport has a team which deals with health issues and including infectious diseases. And also, the Ministry of Health has somebody there too. That's just normal, you know. Not one person.
More than 150 persons here had their eyes screened for cataract and pterygium at the Kingstown Clinic on Sunday by a team of ophthalmologists on the Miracle Mission from Venezuela. Venezuelan ambassador to SVG, Francisco Perez, said the service being provided has been well received by the Vincentian public.
And of course, this is the first day on Sunday night. I was very surprised to see almost 150 Vincentians that they are here to get the diagnosis of the eyes problem. Most of them with cataract and pterygium will receive the surgery in the next month, between April and May.
Today, the doctors were in Georgetown conducting another screening session, and tomorrow the team will be at the Buckerman's Clinic. Ambassador Perez says this year's mission allows for the team to visit more clinics across the island for free screening of persons.
Knowing this mission, after Friday, the team have to leave to Venezuela. The patient have to do that exam here in San Vincent with Vincentian doctor, the lab here. After that, the team come back and to evaluate the test and see if they are apt or not for the surgery. Because sometimes have some condition that they cannot get the surgery. For example, a big heart is not good for surgery.
The team of ophthalmologists is expected to carry out 400 surgeries on selected persons who are expected to undergo evaluation and follow-up tests before the surgeries are done. Leadership is defined by one's position but refined by training. So says Permanent Secretary in the Ministry of Education, Mikkel Burke, as he addressed the opening of a leadership workshop for education stakeholders today under the Human Development Service Delivery Project. The project has 4 components: to develop the capacity of school leaders' pedagogy for basic and special needs education, building responsive social protective systems, strengthening of the certification framework, and project management, monitoring, and evaluation. P.S. Burke says no one has a monopoly on knowledge and encourage stakeholders to use their knowledge for the benefit of all.
Virtue of your positions, your leadership is defined. By virtue of training, your leadership is refined. And here's where we're going to place our emphasis. Training. How do you get the exposure necessary to enhance your toolkit, to make you more effective and efficient as a leader? No one has the monopoly on knowledge. Knowledge is dynamic. Knowledge is evolving. And we have with us very capable individuals who expose us to new learning. And the aim is not so much for certification. The aim is for elevation. But it's not elevation as you may interpret. Not elevation in terms of status, but elevation in terms of knowledge. In terms of knowledge acquired. In terms of knowledge gained. So when you're exposed to this training, you'll be elevated to a new plateau, a new existence, where you can share with others, that you can share with your colleagues.
Also speaking at the opening of the workshop was Chief Education Officer Elizabeth Walker, who said quality leadership in education is key.
Emphasis continues on the Human Development Service Delivery Project, where leaders at various levels will be trained and certified. If we are to be effective at the school level, system leaders, who you are, must be up to the task in providing what is required of an effective leader and an effective supervisor. And we hear it all the time, the chain is as strong as its weakest link. Let it not be your link.
Beaches are important to SVG's tourism product, and work will be done to further develop these important resources. Welcome back to the evening news. So says Minister of Tourism, Sports and Culture Cecil Sass-Mackey during his contribution to the debate in Parliament on the 2020 budget.
The development of tourism sites will continue to be of great importance to us, and this year we'll see a number of initiatives. Continue to put in signs across St. Vincent and the Grenadines. This year we'll completely redo the Villa Boardwalk. This year we'll also do another phase of the Cayo project at Argyle. This year we'll see work being done at the Châteauguay National Park. We see how widely utilized that facility is, so we'll do considerable work there. This year, Mr. Speaker, we'll also put in a washroom facility at the area, the most popular pool now, that is in the geothermal area. At the Villa Beach, we put in a comfort station. We did some across other beach facilities, and we will upgrade 8 sites during the course of this year. The OECS competitive project would allow us to do significant upgrades to the food chalet area and also do work with the moorings across St. Vincent and the Grenadines.
Many of the tourism sites in the country are managed by the National Parks, Rivers and Beaches Authority, which Minister Mackey says will be involved in a number of development activities this year.
The work done by the National Parks, Rivers and Beaches Authority. They continue to do very important work. This year they will continue to work along with other ministries in the communities as well to develop the programs that they have implemented. They have a very important annual summer program. This year they would also put in place lifeguards, 3 lifeguards at 3 facilities at Villa, Brighton and Raraku. And they would also take on board a maintenance crew to assist them in maintaining the several facilities. Just to mention figures, because we have 13 tourism sites that they manage. In 2014, 91,500 visitors. 2015, 91,720. 2016, 113,140. 2017, 118,164. 2018, 170,000, and in 2019, 191,000 persons visited those 13 sites.
The tourism minister said work will also be done to continue to stimulate growth in the tourism industry.
So, do work in terms of the standards. That's one of the areas that we are very proud about, the standards across the sector. The minister in his presentation announced that there would be incentives for persons to bring in new tour buses and also water taxi operators, and the Tourism Authority will continue to ensure that they work closely with the Taxi Association. We now have 2 taxi associations and over 120 taxi operators in the industry now. This year we'll also move forward with the construction of the firefighting aspect of the Maritime and Hospitality Training Institute. We have 249 students now doing programs at the community college, and also we would ensure that the curriculum would start in September this year, so we will be able to train our persons who go out to take up positions on the cruise lines and in the hotel industry, both locally and overseas.
Union Island is expected to host its first ever conch festival this end of month. The festival, which will be hosted by the Union Island Tourist Board, is scheduled for Saturday, February 29th and Sunday, March 1st on Union Island. Chairman of the Union Island Tourist Board, Stanton Gomez, says the event was designed to foster a greater appreciation for the conch industry, which is important to the island as a source of food and employment. Gomez said the festival will bring together chefs and cooks from all over the island.
So especially on this Saturday, we will be inviting the restaurants and different cooks across the island to come and cook up for sale, obviously, a variety of conch dishes, conch water, you would have conch stew, conch salad, conch fritters, you have the curry conch, pilau, you have the grilled conch, and famous conch chowder, and also you would get some conch pasta. Also, we are expecting that because one of the categories is specialty conch, so we're expecting to see persons creating something new, probably something that's never been available on the island in terms of conch. So that persons could appreciate the conch industry, both persons on Union and outside of Union. And also we hope that persons would see the restaurants would gravitate to having more conch on their menus regularly.
During the festival, the chefs will compete for cash prizes as well as uniquely made conch shell trophies. Gomez said the festival will also feature water sports and other unique activities.
Yes, they would have apart from the food competitions, we want to have some swimming competitions. We want to try to merge a little bit of water sport because the event on Saturday, that's Saturday the 29th, that'll be taking place at the Fisheries Complex. And we want to have some some swimming competition, some stand-up paddleboard competition, and also they would have conch chopping competition, so persons could get to see the entire process of taking the conch out from the shell itself, ponging it, cleaning it, ponging it, and we'd have some conch shell blowing competition. And in terms of the food competition, we would have the conch specialty, the most innovative conch dish.
Sustainability is key, and Gomez said the board is looking to partner with the Fisheries Department to provide crucial information to the general public. Gomez said such unique festivals are an important addition to this country's tourism product.
I believe so, because of its uniqueness. We foresee that persons would gravitate to Union Island, and especially on the long run, on the long term, when hopefully restaurants would have more conch on their menus. They would act as a long term tourism benefit. We would be able to see the link between the conch and tourism. I want to encourage them to come out, especially to this Saturday, because there will be educational booths. The Fisheries Division should be done with an educational booth explaining how it plays a role in the ecosystem and the legal side and all of the other aspects relating to the regulatory aspects. So we want to encourage persons, not only conch fishers, but other persons to come out and also visit those booths to gain some information. It may be information that persons would already know that they'll get a refresher on it.
20 families in Barley will join scores of others in other parts of the islands who are benefiting from the Richmond Vale Academy, or RVA's, award-winning ecological farming in model gardens. The Canada Fund for Local Initiatives has given support to RVA to help 20 Barley families establish its Pass It On sustainable model gardens. The funding will support the continuation of efforts with 50 families in North Leeward who have these home gardens. The Academy said 6 of the 20 gardens in Barley are nearly ready for startup. The gardens, which are individually designed depending on the size and gradient of the land, include a seed nursery table, chicken coop, and use rainwater for irrigation. The Pass It On sustainable model gardens teach farmers to reduce soil erosion with raised beds constructed along contours of the hillside and supported by Gliricidia tree logs or bamboo. When these 20 gardens are completed in April, it will bring to 85 the number of gardens that the RVA, with the support of multiple partners, has helped farmers in Fitzhughes, Chateaubriand, Rosebank, Trumoka, Rose Hall, Barrowley and Fancy to establish. The RVA says it will take the technique to Layou, Buchanan Bay, Vermont and Sandy Bay before the end of the year, and is hoping that a farmer will be sowing seeds in the 100th garden by the middle of the year. Under its St. Vincent Climate Compliance Conference 2012-2021, RVA is hoping that 200 home gardens will be established in SVG by the end of 2021.